get an idea how we do it. Yep. Right. Talk about what's going on, how the track's driving, kind of deal. For sure. For sure. Yeah. He can hear me on stream. You want to just go push the button?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Collegiate iRacing League for tonight's GR86 Cup race here from the beautiful Lime Rock Park. I'm Matthew Nordberg. Joining me up in the booth tonight, a new face to the booth, it's Zachary DeWale from St. Clair College. You might recognize that name if you're a longtime CiL viewer. Driver on both Road and Oval Series, but tonight he's taken off the driving boots and putting on the commentator's headset to walk us through a fantastic race tonight as we go around this 1.45 mile track of Lime Rock Park with the Grand Prix configuration with that chicane in the back half of the track. Great track tonight, 72 degrees Fahrenheit for the ambient temperature, 36 humidity, partly cloudy with very light winds. So, Zach, I think it's going to be a great track to watch a lot of close racing tonight, especially with these GR86 cars.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a really good show tonight. Yeah, this is a very, it's deceivingly tricky track. It's pretty narrow. Lots of big sweeping corners that'll kind of catch you off guard if you're not taking the right line. You'll run out of road pretty quick around here. And that chicane too, it'll, as you said, we're running the chicane tonight. It'll really catch some guys out with the big turtle curbs on the inside. You'll be bouncing a lot of cars around, bouncing off the walls, banging fenders. Should be a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. As our drivers start to come out on the track here for tonight's race, qualifying about 10-minute session. Going to set the grid for the first race of the evening. We have two 10-lap sprint races here tonight. Following the first race, we're going to have a top 10 invert just to mix up the field, get some tight action throughout the field right now. As we have a couple drivers on the track right now, and we're getting a good look at the. Let's see here. That's Alexander Diamond out of Drexel University going down into turn one now. We'll see what he can do for his first lap time there, Zach.
Absolutely. See, sweeping around, taking a nice wide line through the middle of 1 and 2 here. Got to keep a lot of momentum through that corner. It's a very fast corner. You want to have a good entry angle through here to kind of allow you to get a good line through this turn 3 here, the right-hander. Get a good run down the straight. One of the best overtaking points down this track, and just as part of the track where you can lose a lot of time in these cars. Not a lot of power, so you got to be sure to keep the momentum up.
Yeah, that's for sure, Zach. And I think it's going to be important to get overtakes done quickly here because only 10 laps around this 1.5 mile track. It's going to go by very quickly as Alexander Diamond now comes through the penultimate corner here, almost flat out in these GR86 Cup cars. Then as you come down to the final sweeping right-hander, it's going to be so important to carry as much momentum down out of the corner as you can, just because if you carry that momentum, you're going to be able to have a really good look at an overtake going down into turn 1. As right now, top of the leaderboard is Kyle Bonin out of Clemson University. He set a lap time. We're going to see, he set a lap time of a 1 minute 38. So we're going to maybe see some sub 1 minute laps here if we get drivers really on their horse here.
We absolutely could. We saw a couple guys breaking into the sub 1 minute times during practice. That was Kyle Bonin and Ian Brown as well. We're both breaking into that sub 1 minute with a lot of guys getting really close as well. Oh, that's a big lift for a diamond there. Um, yeah, so we could absolutely see some of these times start to come down as the cars kind of get up to temperature and they start to burn some fuel off these things.
Yeah, as we see Ian Brown kind of navigate his way through the chicane. A little bit late on the brakes there, but you can really see how soft the suspension is on some of these GR86 cars under heavy braking. Primarily into that chicane is where you're going to get the heaviest braking zone of the night. As Ian Brown pulls off to the side after cutting the corner at the chicane, he's going to invalidate his lap. A couple other drivers moving through the track right now. Timothy Wilms out of Drexel University, teammate of Alexander Diamond, who we saw earlier, making his way down towards the chicane right now. And I think I really want to get a good look with this camera view to see how much the suspension moves and how much the car moves as they get onto the brakes in the chicane here.
Yeah, absolutely. These things are going to squat down. Look at that. The front end just dipping right down as he goes through the corner. Navigating those turtles beautifully. Very nicely done through that chicane there from Timothy as he comes down to the second to last corner of the track. That chicane, I'm telling you, I already said it, it's going to be really crucial to these guys, not even just like making overtakes, but to be able to hold position at all. You really want to be able to get a good exit through there, because that's, as from what I'm seeing, you're pretty much flat from that point on, all the way around the second half of the track, all the way to turn one. So these guys got to really be on it through that section of the track, while also not hitting those curbs and really compromising their speed.
Yeah, I think we're going to see plenty of action down at the chicane tonight. As a couple other drivers continue to set their lap times right now, a few drivers we want to take note of. Andrew Williams, he's a oval side regular for Clemson University, but tonight he's taking on the road side here at Lime Rock Park, the fun track. As he right in front of him, I should say, is I believe that is Alex Hallinar out of Binghamton University. Is Drew Williams goes second with his lap time of a 1 minute .510. Kyle Bonin has extended his lead at the front of the field. He has a 1 minute nearly flat at the top of the timing sheet at the moment. So we'll see if anyone can get there, as there's still about 6 minutes to go in our qualifying session.
They've definitely still got the time to do it, and these cars are moving quick. We might see some guys. They're going to be pretty much running a full race here through qualifying. How many laps they're going to be able to get done in such a short time. These guys are going to be burning off a lot of fuel. These cars are going to be should be getting pretty quick. I don't imagine there's a whole lot of tire wear these guys are going to be fighting. So just got to keep the car under control, keep it in one piece, and the times will come to them.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there about the fuel burning off. All of the setups in the GR86 Cup are fixed, so you can't really play with the fuel, can't play with the stiffness or the springs or anything like that. So as this fuel burns off for these drivers, I think it's going to those lap times are going to creep down and really get close to that 1 minute barrier. As Alex Hallinar, we've seen him in front of Drew Williams this past lap. He moves up to second place on the timing tower, still about 4/10 of a second behind Kyle Bonin, who's still on top. As Ian Brown now, that's a 1 minute 4:51. That pack between third and really seventh now, within 2/10 of a second, and really between third and fifth is really tight.
That's crazy. That's within what did you say? Just 4/10 of a second, separating fourth on down to, I believe that's, like you said, P8 all the way down with the diamond there. Yeah, this should be a really tight battle through there. Yeah, man, this should be a really good race tonight. These cars are going to be really fun, really tight. The draft, the dirty air in the draft. Do you think it'll be an issue coming through those last two corners and then dealing with the draft all the way down that front straight?
I think the draft is going to play a bigger role in overtaking than it will in dirty air and kind of preventing the overtakes, because really there's not a whole lot of aero on these cars. You get that big rear wing, of course, but suspension I think is where most of the lap time can come from. And if you can navigate around this track and keep that car platform in balance, you really don't want to get too hard on the brakes, so that'll upset the back end of the car. Just all the weight moving to the front end is going to really allow that car to spin around on you if not careful. You see Jack Ritchie there from Mississippi College on the edge of the corner going down to the chicane, hits the wall. He's going to tow back the pits and try again right now. But another driver we have yet to mention tonight, Hunter Hadesti from Clemson University. He is currently in the 6th position right now. Currently third of his Clemson teammates in front of him right now, but he's got some pace tonight, and I think he could really challenge at the front, especially if this battle at the front keeps everybody packed up tight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a big race about taking advantage of others' mistakes while not making mistakes of your own. So yeah, these guys, they really need to just try and stay tight with these packs, and they can make some moves and maybe sneak up and try and get a sneaky podium out of tonight's race.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think this track is really going to allow the entire pack to stay together tonight. The field from top to bottom right now is about 1.6 seconds, but once you get the draft involved, you can make up probably 4 or 5 tenths just along the main straight with the draft, especially if you get a good run off the last corner as the Hunter Destiny come off the last corner now. I think there's going to be a little bit of rubbing tonight. I think, obviously these GR86 cars can take a lot of punishment. It's not quite like an open wheel car where, just a slight touch could ruin your race. I think here you can really, lean on the other drivers. Maybe not into turn one just because that's a bit of a higher speed corner, but maybe down in the chicane we see a lot of elbows rubbing.
Absolutely, yeah. In my experience racing these cars, yeah, they can really take a beating. And thanks to that, like the traction control and the ABS, and like into these really heavy braking zones that we see Mr. Hidesi coming into there with the chicane, they can take a little bit of a beating as they're coming into the corners. But like you said, in turn one, it's such a fast corner. Guys are going to have to be a little more careful about when and where they're bumping guys, and be careful not to send guys off the track. It's going to be very important.
Yeah, that's for sure. As Ian Brown enters the chicane here now, front nose sliding across the ground essentially. I think really the first corner of that chicane is the most important, that first right-hander. Because if you don't get that corner right, you're not going to be set up straight for the next two quick left-rights going up the hill. And I think interesting choice by the CiL and the kind of the admin staff trying to decide, are we going to run the Grand Prix circuit with that chicane in the middle, or are we going to run the kind of the normal layout where you just take that single right-hander where the chicane is now? And I think the chicane adds a little bit of skill in there because, I think with just the simple right-hander that you could choose, we see a lot of rookie cars, a lot of rookie series, I should say, take that track. As Ian Brown, great lap from him with a 1 minute .223. He moves up to second on the leaderboard. I think the chicane kind of adds an element of skill in there that can kind of help break up the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't like to see, especially road course races like this, kind of boil down to a pack race. It doesn't always survive the best racing. It can lead to guys being a little overcautious, which isn't really what we want to see. We want to see guys trying to make passes, trying to make moves that matter. So it's nice. I like that they elected to go with the chicane for this race. It adds a nice, pretty long braking zone to this track that doesn't really have one otherwise, and is going to allow for some good another overtaking spot besides just turn one. So I think it was a good choice by the league, and I'm excited to see the racing that it can produce tonight.
Yeah, that's for sure, as we only have about a minute and a half left in our qualifying session tonight. As right now it's Kyle Bonin from Clemson University. He has just broken the 1 minute barrier for the first time tonight. He just set a 59.905 lap time. He goes to the pits. I think he's going to call that a night in qualifying, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that lap time. Absolutely.
That's going to be a hard lap to beat. Just about almost 4 tenths up on Ian Brown. Or I should say 3.5 tenths up on Ian Brown. And Alex Hallinar. We'll see if either one of those guys can maybe get another quick lap in here at the end of this and try and dethrone Mr. Bonin from the pole position for race one.
Yeah, but elsewhere throughout the field right now, Texas A&M's Major Monsivas, he's sitting in 8th position right now. He is less than a second back from first. The spread from first to 8 right now is less than a second. 7 tenths really, if you look at it. And I think that's going to provide a lot of good racing tonight, but plenty of drivers still in the fight for the back. College of Sports Media's Jordan Brooks currently in 9th, Jason Wallet from Drexel in 10th, and then another Drexel car in 11th and Timothy Wilms. Only 30 seconds left in qualifying as Major Monsivas he improved slightly actually, maybe by a couple hundredths of a second, but he's going to stay where he is in 8th place as a couple cars are finishing their laps for the final time.
Absolutely. The time's ticking down. See who else is coming across the line soon. Hallinar just finished a lap, but I don't think he improved. No, he did not. No, we got, who else is on a lap? Will Hidesi be able to make it back around? He's coming around the final second to last corner here. Jason Watt crosses the line. Does not improve position. And Hidesi went wide. Oh, that's tough.
That's going to do it for qualifying here for the GR86 Cup race at Lime Rock Park. Let's take a look at our starting grid here. Starting on the pole position for race 1 of the evening, it's Kyle Bonin out of Clemson University. Our only driver to break the 1 minute barrier with a 59.905. A great lap from him. On his outside, it's going to be Ian Brown from Mesa Community College. That 003 car about 3 tenths behind our pole position winner. And third is Alex Hallinar to round out a 1-2-3 of alumni finishers in the qualifying. He'll start third for Binghamton University. And then fourth, it's Jack Ritchie out of Mississippi College. Andrew Williams will start fifth. with his Clemson University teammate Hunter Hidesti to his outside in 6th, about 5 tenths back from our pole sitter. And then 7th, it's Alexander Diamond, the leading Drexel car, and then Major Monsivas in 8th for Texas A&M International. Jordan Brooks has the 9th position for tonight's first race out of College of Sports and Media, and Jason Wallet, who is outside from Drexel, in 10th. Rounding out your back row of race 1 for the evening, it's going to be Timothy Williams from Drexel University in 11th, and then Michael Tognati from the College of San Mateo in 12th. Zach, looking forward to a great race here tonight. I think it's going to be action-packed up and down the field.
Absolutely. With how close of a lap time these guys were running all through practice and qualifying, we can definitely expect some good tight racing. These cars really do promote that very aggressive, close beating and banging racing, and this will be a good track for that too. With some good low-speed technical corners in the first half of the track, and then a nice big draft down the straight and through those last 2 corners to help close the guys back up and let them have another go at it through the first few corners. So it'll absolutely be a good race tonight. I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
Absolutely. It's only 10 laps here around Lime Rock Park. Each lap is only about a minute, so it's going to be a fast and furious one for our CiL 10 top drivers tonight as they make their way down to the chicane. The final time before this race goes green.
Absolutely. It'll be good. Yeah. Oh, man. This will be a good show. I'm Canadian, of course, so I'm going to be rooting for my fellow Canadian in Jordan here. I know I shouldn't be, but I got it. My fellow countrymen. But it'll be a good show regardless. These guys are have been putting down some good lap times. From what I've seen in the races that I've not been able to join the booth for, they've been putting on a good show. They hadn't been afraid to make some moves, so we'll hope they carry on with that for this evening's series of events.
That's for sure. As the pace car lights are out, as they come down the final corner for the final time before the green flag drops, that Porsche pace car is about to pull into the pits, and Kyle Bonin will lead this field to green for the race, or the first race of the CiL's 2 race features tonight as they get ready to come to the green flag. Now, pace car is off. Kyle Bonin, your black and orange car on the inside of your screen. Right behind him is Alex Hallinar, and then it's Clemson University's Drew Williams as the green flag drops, and Ian Brown gets a good jump on the outside right now as they go 3 wide behind them.
Whoa.
It's going to be an interesting fight into turn 1. Kyle Bonin is able to hold on to the lead right now as Alex Hallinar behind is trying to make a challenge for second position on Ian Brown.
Oh, he's going to make it 3 wide through the middle. Jack Ritchie. Oh, and he gets turned.
Jack
Ritchie's
you guys got to
watch out. He's going to slide back into the track. Oh, no more go around.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He did collect another driver. I couldn't see who it was.
And Kyle Bonin has made a mistake as well. As we were looking back at the action throughout further and back in the field, Kyle Bonin has lost the lead right now. He's all the way back into 5th position. We'll have to get a replay of that one right now. But at the front of the field, it's Alex Hallinar trying to make a move for first position on Ian Brown as they go down to the penultimate corner. Ian Brown able to hold on to the lead for now as Hallinar is sniffing the rear wing of Brown through the final corner, trying to see if he can get a run and maybe get the lead in the first lap.
Absolutely. I think there was a little bit of contact there as they came out of that second to last corner. Oh, and Williams goes wide.
Yeah, Drew Williams a little wide. It looks like Hallinar is now making the move to the outside of Ian Brown. Brown defending that inside line as it goes hard on the brakes. Good defensive move from Brown there. There's lots of action in the first lap here, Zach.
Absolutely. It's probably smart of Hallinar there to back out and probably ditch out of that move and to avoid that. I think I jinxed my fellow Canadian, Jordan Brooks, down there in 12th. I think a few guys got collected there. It looked like it was Major Monsivas, Jason Watt, and Jordan all got collected, and a few other guys as well. Jack Ritchie, Timothy Williams, down off the field a little bit. But of course, we've got this battle up front to focus on now too. Will Hallinar try and make another move into turn 1, or will he be content to kind of stay back for now?
I think Hallinar's mistake in that last lap was that he got a little too close coming off the final corner, and I think he couldn't get the draft he wanted. As it looks like he's a little bit wider than Ian Brown right now. Seems he's having a couple of connection issues here. Possibly Hunter Hidesti way in the grass, almost loses it coming out of the last corner right now, but at the front it's still Hallinar v. Brown. As Hallinar moves to the inside, late on the brakes, it looks like he gets cut off almost, gets almost into the rear end of Brown right now, but they're clean at the moment, as it looks like right now Drew Williams is sniffing this fight, and he thinks that a mistake between those two can give him the lead.
Absolutely. I got to think Drew might just be trying to stay back and just trying to keep his nose clean here as these two go at it. Again, like you said, some slight connection issues right now for Ian Brown, so it might be hard for Halinar to really see where he's at and try and make that move. So that may be why he's being a little bit more hesitant now. Oh, and Drew goes a little wide through the chicane there. He kind of caught that second turtle. Doesn't lose too much time, but he's got to be careful not to fall back in the clutches of his teammate Hidesti.
I thought Halinar had a chance there coming out of the chicane. It looks like Ian Brown was maybe a bit slow, but just not enough time on that straightaway between the chicane and the second to last corner in this track to make it. They come down to the front stretch to complete lap 3 right now. It's Mesa Community College still in the lead as Halinar is trying to make a move to the inside, but Brown defends that aggressively as they move down into turn 1 right now. Halinar still in second on that back bumper of Ian Brown right now. Another lap led for the Mesa Community College driver.
Absolutely. They're really tight to his bumper here through turn 1. Tries to peek to the outside turn 2. Oh, he nearly went off track there. He's got to be careful now not to let Andrew Williams make a move into the chicane, but Andrew's really close here. Will we see a move into the braking zone? He's peeking. He's peeking. Will he make the move? No, he thinks better of it. He's going to tuck back in behind Halinar here. And he went wide through the chicane again, catching the turtles as his teammate Hidesti is going to close that gap. It's getting really tight racing here for P2. Ian Brown might have a chance here to extend the gap a little bit and try and create a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, I think Ian Brown loves seeing this fight behind him right now. It looks like Halinar and Drew Williams both go wide in the grass. It's going to give Hunter Hidesti an opportunity here maybe, but they keep their foot in it. Impressive driving on the grass. I'm surprised that both of them made it through there, to be honest. It looks like Ian Brown a little deep into turn 1 here.
I almost think Ian Brown might have been seeing what we were just seeing in his mirror. And watching those guys try not to junk those cars up. But wow, that was some impressive driving from those guys to keep those things pointed in the right direction there. I think we might see a lot more of that as the night goes on and these guys start making a bit more aggressive moves.
Yeah, we just saw a move from Kyle Bonin there for the 4th position, making it past his Clemson University teammate and Hunter Hidesti. Kyle Bonin was your pole sitter, but a mistake on lap 1 demoted him to the 5th position as they make their way through the chicane now. And it looks like Halinar right back on the bumper of Ian Brown as they come through the last 2 corners of this lap.
Absolutely. We're getting up to halfway here already in this race. Will Halinar be able to make the move? He might be a little too far back now for this lap to be able to make it stick, but he's definitely closing that gap back up. Yeah, it's going to be really tight at the end if these guys can keep racing like this.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it looks like a little wide again from Ian Brown. That's going to give Halinar the opportunity here maybe to stick a nose to the inside. You saw brake lights illuminating for Halinar, maybe trying to stay out the rear end of Ian Brown. Don't want contact with still 5 laps remaining in this race, as it looks like the Clemson University cars of Kyle Bonin, Hunter Hidesti, and Drew Williams are sniffing a 1-2-3 for Clemson here if something happens at the front.
Absolutely. You got to think these guys are all, as these guys are racing, they're always thinking about that. They're trying to be prepared if these guys do make that mistake and cause this and have a little incident and have both these guys come off. So they don't want to be making any kind of reckless moves and to hurt a teammate's race. Just in case that does happen, then you can get all 3 guys getting good points at the end of this race. But oh, we got Williams. He's closing right up on Halinar. A little bit of contact maybe. Halinar dips a couple wheels off in the grass, and Drew's going to have the inside into turn 1 here.
Yeah, Drew has a bumper along the quarter panel of Halinar right now. On the brakes, both of them going into turn 1. Can Drew Williams get the move done? Great fighting between both of them right now. Lots of respect given. It looks like Drew's able to get the move done coming out of turn 1. Moves himself up into 2nd position, and now Kyle Bonin sniffs blood in the water here as he wants to move up into another spot into those last podium positions right now, trying to recover from his mistake earlier after starting on the pole.
Absolutely. Bonin's really quick. He was really moving in practice and in qualifying, obviously, as he started on pole. But he's got to be hungry to get those positions back. And I'm noticing right now, Drew's running a different line through that chicane than the other guys. A lot of guys are coming to the left, or to the right of that second turtle, and he's kind of hopping over it.
Halinar wide here.
So, Halinar's wide.
Halinar wide.
He's just going to hold position for now.
He goes wide
Drew
again.
gets the tire off. Oh no. He might lose 3rd here now. Oh, if he can hold on to it. He's still in the grass.
Yeah, Halinar can't
and
quite
he's just going to get it back.
Yeah, Halinar, mistake coming out of the last corner there. Trying to just aggressively hold on to that position right now. But Kyle Bonin is a man on a mission. A mistake earlier, and now he's gone from 5th to 3rd. We'll see if he can make up another couple spots and maybe regain that top position. But there's only 3 laps left to do it. 8, 9, and 10 to go as they come down the second half of this lap now.
Absolutely. Looks like Drew was maybe a little slow off that turn 3, I think. Allowed Bonin to close in a bit. He's not going to make the move here. Oh, Drew gained a lot of time through the chicane there. He's got a good run out of the chicane. Will he do anything with it now, or will he save it for turn 1?
It's tough making a move out of the chicane just because you have so little time to do it. But it looks like Drew's making the best of his opportunity right now. He's got a great run on the back of Ian Brown right now, coming to the end of lap 8, starting lap 9. It looks like Hallinar's falling a little bit deep. Drew's in the grass. It looks like he just can't stay out of it. Hallinar's in the grass as well as the two Clipson cars go side by side now. Bonin on the inside, Drew Williams on the outside. We'll see who gets the position here. As it looks like Drew Williams just gives that one up and lets his teammate go.
That might be a smart move right now, just to help a teammate out. He's making up a lot of time. He's very quick today. And they're immediately all over the back of Ian Brown. These guys are pushing really hard right now, you can tell. Every lap, guys are dropping tires off of that corner. It's like I was saying in the pre-race, these guys are pushing hard. It's a narrow track. The dirt on the outside of these corners really sneaks up on you. It looks like Drew's being a little more careful through that chicane. Oh, and it looks like Brown made a mistake coming out of the chicane. Bonin's right on him again. He's almost side by side. The second to last corner. Oh, it looks like they both had to check up. Drew's closing in now.
Yeah, coming to the white flag this time by Ian Brown. Has led since the start, since Kyle Bonin made a mistake, but could Kyle Bonin make up for his mistake here as the white flag flies? 1 lap to go here for the first race of tonight as Kyle Bonin tries to make a move for the lead.
Oh, will he get there? Looks like he was thinking about putting the bumper to him, but he chose the better of it. And Hallinar's going to make a move for 3rd here on Drew Williams. He's going to try and go around the outside at turn 2. Will he be able to make it stick? Oh, he's just going to tuck back in behind. But we got a good battle for the lead here. Bonin gets a little bit of a run. Will he be able to do anything into the chicane? It's going to be hard to say. He's been faster than Brown out of the chicane, so we'll see if he can make anything happen out of there.
So Ian Brown a little wide through the chicane. He's made a mistake. It looks like Kyle Bonin is going to have the opportunity to make a move around the outside of Ian Brown coming out of the chicane, and he does. Kyle Bonin on the last lap makes the move for the lead, and further throughout the field right now, it looks like Drew Williams is under pressure from Hallinar right now. But Kyle Bonin, he started this race in 1st position. He ended the 1st lap in 5th, but he's coming to the checkered flag now, potentially to take a great race victory. Ian Brown not close enough to take the win, and Kyle Bonin wins race 1 for the CiL GR86 Cup here at Lime Rock Park. Ian Brown comes home 2nd, and Drew Williams makes a good finish into 3rd. He started 5th, moved up 2 spots. Behind him, Alex Hallinar, Hunter Adesti, and Alexander Diamond round out your top 6.
Absolutely. That was a really good battle at the start. I want to see, if we can, what happened on lap 1 for Kyle Bonin. That was an interesting incident. I just want to see how he lost that time. He made a really good comeback drive here to get back up even in contention at all after losing all that time at the start. Very impressive drive from him to be able to make up all those spots again.
Yeah, here we are. We're going to get a look at the start here between our races right now. Kyle Bonin was your pole position winner. We can see he's on the inside there, that orange and black car right now. Hallinar right behind him. Looks like 3 wide. Looks like as iRacing decides it does not want to show the replay anymore as we move into a warm-up session between races. We'll hopefully hear from Kyle Bonin what happened. We'll see if we can get a quick mid-race interview from him. And of course, still only a 5-minute session between the 2 races to allow drivers to cool down, maybe warm up a little bit after some exciting bumper-to-bumper action in that first race. I think we are going to be able to hear from Kyle Bonin here. Kyle, you got us up here in the booth?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Kyle, what a race you had, Kyle. I think exciting all the way through, and I don't think we were able to catch it on our broadcast tonight, but we saw you had a bit of a mistake on that first lap, dropping from 1st to 5th. What happened there?
I don't know. I think Ian, at least out of the corner of my eye, it looked like Ian missed his braking point slightly, and I just got forced a little wide. I'd have to go back and look at it, but I just felt really close to Ian, so I kind of tried to give him space. That was all.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, just such an impressive drive to be able to make up all those spots again after dropping down to 5th, like Matt just said. What was your what were you kind of seeing to be able to make the moves that you were doing? Were you just waiting for mistakes, or were you trying to be aggressive and just make passes as soon as you got the opportunity? What was the kind of strategy coming back up through the field there?
I think I just kind of wanted to pressure mistakes, I guess. I just wanted to get up on right behind other cars and, either stay right there and try to just bother them, at least make it, interesting that they have to keep looking back. And I think that's probably what happened with both Alex and Ian, was just waiting for mistakes. It's very easy to do on this track.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very narrow track. I was saying to Matt just before the pre-race, this dirt on the exit of the corners, man, it just sneaks up on guys. We saw a lot of guys going wide. Yeah, so it's very tight quarters on this track. You guys put on a really good show for us here. So, yeah, very well done.
Thank you.
Well, Kyle, congratulations on the race win in the first race tonight. Good luck in the second one. We'll be watching closely.
All right. Thanks, guys.
And just a reminder, that was Kyle Bonin from Clemson University. He was our pole position winner for the first race, fell back to 5th early on, and then fought his way back in a quick 10-lap sprint to take home that race 1 victory. Led the last lap, but that's the lap that matters, Zach.
Absolutely, and he's going to be coming from even further back than he had to recover from in this race. It'll be a little bit more tricky this time to be able to try and get up and make it a sweep here in Lime Rock today, but I don't know. He's got the pace. I think he can make it happen if he can keep the car clean.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see if we can pull up some of our Race 1 results. As we've mentioned before, Kyle Bond from Clemson University was your Race 1 winner. Ian Brown from Mesa Community College. He led 9 of the 10 laps, but unfortunately just fell with a mistake on the final lap of the race. He'll come home in 2nd. Drew Williams with a good race for Clemson in 3rd. Alex Hallinar out of Binghamton University will finish in 4th. And Hunter Hidesti from Clemson University in 5th as well. Further out through the pack, we saw some good racing in the back of the pack. Unfortunately, the leaders kind of stole the show in that first race as Alexander Diamond for Drexel University came home in 6th. Jack Ritchie had an unfortunate race 1. He got tagged a little bit in the chaos of that lap 1, turn 1 incident, and came home in 7th out of Mississippi College. Michael Tognati out of the College of San Mateo. He started at the back of the pack and moved up 4 positions, so great race from him to move up to 8th. Timothy Wilms out of Drexel University will come home in 9th. And right behind him, his Drexel University teammate in Jason Wallet in 10th. He'll be on the pole position for race 2 tonight as the top 10 are inverted.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say the one Canadian in the field, Jordan Brooks, you had your eye on him. Unfortunately, ended in 11th. I think he had to pit for some damage. And then Major Monsivas out of Texas A&M University, or Texas A&M International, he also had to pit for some damage. He came home in 12th. But a second race is a second opportunity for a lot of these drivers, Zach.
Absolutely. As we saw, a lot of guys were making mistakes in that first race through that final corner. And even in that first section of corners on lap 1. So really anything can happen. These guys are starting very tight together. So you could start the race in last, and if everybody goes off on that first corner, you're leading the race. So it's like anything can happen. Just got to be alert and just try and keep your head on straight and stay out of trouble. I think it's going to be a good strategy, at least for the first lap, just to make sure you got to be in the race to win the race. So it's got to be careful not to wreck out too early.
That's for sure. As our warm-up session comes to an end now, with only one driver partaking in Alexander Diamond, he set a 1:06.56, which is a very competitive time. But it's now time for the second race tonight in the starting grid for race 2. It's going to be Jason Wallet, as mentioned before, on pole position. He finished in 10th in race 1 and gets the benefit of that pole in race 2. Timothy Wilms from Drexel. The Drexel University front row lockout as Timothy Wilms starts in 2nd. Michael Tognati in 3rd out of the College of San Mateo, and Jack Ritchie in 4th from Mississippi College. Alexander Diamond, the 3rd Drexel car in the field right now, is 5th, and Hunter Hidesti from Clemson will start 6th. Alex Hallinar will start 7th from Binghamton University, and Drew Williams, finished on the podium in race 1, will start 8th in race 2. Ian Brown and Kyle Bonin go from 1-2 to 9-10 after finishing 1-2 in race 1, and then Jordan Brooks and Major Monsivas will start in the position they finished race 1, because obviously only the top 10 are inverted. The rest, their positions stay the same right now, as the field is moving now, getting ready to go green here in just a couple moments, Zach.
Absolutely, and unfortunately it seems that we have lost Alex Hallinar. He seems to have disconnected. We saw Was it Helena or was it Ian Brown that was having the connection issues in race 1?
I think it was Ian Brown.
Ah, that's too bad. Well, Helena seems to have lost connection, so we will not have Helena in this race. Try to bounce back from the small mistake in race 1 that may have cost him a podium in that one. But he will be back next week.
Yeah, Alex Hallner, an avid oval racer in real life, runs short track Legends cars when he gets the opportunity. So, you know, he loves his speed and he wants to compete, but unfortunately, just mechanical issue for him will prevent him from taking the grid for race 2 of the night as the cars come out of the chicane. Now, it looks like we had a little bit of adventure in the chicane. It looks like someone almost spun on one of those curbs, and even at these low speeds these cars are traveling at under the pace car, it's still possible right now. But Jason Wallet and Timothy Williams currently pacing the field right now as they come down to the final corner. Drexel University 1-2 right now as they come out of the final corner. Zach, take us here to the green flag.
Absolutely. We come out of the final turn here at Lime Rock behind the pace car. Feels a little more strung out this time. Pace car comes off, and we are under green here at Lime Rock. Jason puts the foot to the floor. Not a great start from Timothy. Who's that? Sorry. Already making a move into turn 1. Oh, a little bit of contact there into turn 1. Oh, and one sideways. Oh, that's going to be a big wreck.
Oh, the field is caught up. 4 cars
off the track there. Oh, that's unfortunate. Jack Ritchie went sideways. Oh, who else was collected in that? That was Andrew Williams, Hunter Desti, and Timothy Williams went off as well. Oh, it's a lot of cars involved. Alex Diamond involved also. That's very unfortunate. You hate to see that at the start of these races.
Yeah,
that's going to allow the field to get a little more strung out now.
Yeah, it looks like Mississippi College's Jack Ritchie's. Looks like Michael Tognati here is actually making a move for the lead on Jason Wallet. Wallet deep into the chicane, and he's going to give up that lead position, that first position here, as it looks like Michael Tognati from the College of San Mateo. He started dead last in race 1. He's leading the pack now as they come to the end of the first lap. As elsewhere throughout the field, there's tons of action right now. As Ian Brown, I don't know if he was caught up in that wreck earlier. Maybe he had a slowdown or something, but it looked like he was very slow coming out of the chicane. But chaos in the first lap as we have a couple of front runners who have fallen throughout the field. Now they have tons of time to make up.
Absolutely. Oh, and that's a car off track again there. I think that was Andrew Williams going wide out of the final corner. Yeah, I think we had a lot of guys have to check up from that one. That big wreck in turn 1. So that's going to cause a lot of these guys to have to drop back and lose a lot of time here. Really unfortunate for them. But that's going to allow these guys who had a bit less fortune in race 1 to be able to extend that gap and try and create a little bit of a cushion between those fast guys from race 1 who are battling for the win there. So we could very well see a different, full, fresh set of faces on the podium for this race.
Yeah, and as I was saying before, this time last lap, I think it looked like Jack Ritchie from Mississippi College just got too much on that inside curb in turn 1, and it turned him pretty much hard left and put him line astern to get absolutely, essentially T-boned by the field as they passed through turn 1. And just unfortunate for a lot of drivers. Just a little too much curb in these cars. You know, you can really take the curbs and soft suspension in these cars, but there's a limit to everything. And I think, unfortunately, Jack Ritchie found the limit tonight.
Absolutely. As we can see right now, when coming in through turn 2, Kyle Bonnen's caught right up to Jason Waddle already after starting P10 in this race. He's making up some really good time. These guys are going to have to really get after if they want to keep Bonnen behind him. Been the fastest guy all night. Is he going to try and make a move into the chicane as we saw Tognati do on lap 2? Not quite. Or sorry, it was lap 1, excuse me.
Yeah,
didn't make the move just yet.
Yeah, I think Bonnen is playing the patient game right now. He knows, look, a lot of the cars around him have damage now from that turn 1 wreck. So I think Bonnen knows that he has to pace. He has a clean car. I don't think he has to force it here. I think he's going to get a good run out of the last corner here and try to make a move down into turn 1.
Absolutely. How aggressive will Jason Watt be as we come down the straight? Bonnen's got to run. It'll be enough to get side by side. Maybe not enough to clear him before the corner. They're going to have to fight it. Willott, he tries to outbrake Willott, and it looks like he's just going to clear him through the corner. That might have been Jason just letting him go, kind of knowing who he's fighting, knowing who the battle's with, just trying to keep a good solid run here. Kyle Bonnen's going to take P2 here on lap 4.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned it earlier. You were talking about Jordan Brooks was a driver to watch out for. Is Jason Wallet? I heard someone going through the grass. Not quite sure who it was, but as it looks like Wallet is keeping to that back bumper of Bonin very nicely, but Jordan Brooks is looking ahead right now. He had a very poor first race, and I think he, by his own standards, would admit that. Finished in 11th position, I believe, but sitting in 4th right now with no pressure behind, I think he's going to take this opportunity to challenge, as this top 4 is really closed up now. I think really using that draft to their advantage.
Absolutely. He's closing in a little bit on Jason Willott. We'll see if he can try and close that gap up completely before the end of the race. So Kyle Bonin is still closing in on Michael Tognati for the lead. This will be a good battle for all the podium spots here if things stay straight for these guys. Bonin's all over Tognati here. He looks like he tried to make a move through turn 1, but just couldn't quite get there. Just trying to fill up the mirrors of that number 27 car. Maybe try and force a mistake, as he said he was trying to do in race 1. And he's always going to get a good run here. And Tognati's off track. He's in the wall.
Yeah, Tognati brushes the wall there coming to the straightaway to the chicane. That's going to give Kyle Bonin the lead in race 2. 10th to 1st. It took him less than half of the race. A great run from Kyle Bonin so far. And Jason Wallett's also up into 2nd after Tognati was still recovering from brushing the wall there. So Jason Wallett is very happy where he's sitting right now. And elsewhere throughout the field, it looks like Hunter Hidesti moved past Timothy Wilms. That's Clemson on Drexel for the 8th position right now. And I think Jason Wallet is very happy where he's at right now, but he's got to watch pressure from behind because Tognati was in front of him earlier.
Absolutely. Tognati made a good move to get by him the first time, so as long as his car's not too damaged, he could very well catch back up and do it again. He's already pretty close coming through turn 1, so it's definitely possible that he could make the same move again should it work. It's hard to say. To be a really close battle here.
Yeah, it looks like Kyle Bonin is now pulling away. We saw the pace he had in qualifying and in race 1, and I think with clean track in front of him, he's going to get to stretch those legs and really use the whole width of the track without worrying about who's around him and losing any positions right now. As right now, the closest battle on the track is for the 2nd position right now. Jason Wallet out of Drexel, defending from the College of San Mateo's Michael Tognati right now as they come down to the final 2 corners.
Absolutely. Guys are pushing real hard right now. Looks like a little bobble for Jordan Brooks behind. He just lost a little bit of time. Not sure what that was. But these guys, like you said, this battle's getting close. About 6 tenths separate the two of them as they come down the line here. I'm almost thinking that Tognati might be losing a little bit of straight line speed as Jason pulls away. We've been seeing these guys. The draft's been very effective for these guys. They've been able to close up that gap down the straight. But down the straight there, I don't know if Jason maybe just got a better run, but it looks like the gap was extending a little bit as they came down the straight. So maybe Tognati's going to have to do some clever driving here and try and get by him in this technical section of the track. Oh, as Jordan Brooks goes off behind.
And Jordan Brooks just off the track. It looks like he's gotten back on the track now, and Hunter Hidesti right now is making up lots of time, as it looks like Ian Brown is also making up time on Jordan Brooks right now, and Ian Brown is going to breeze past Jordan Brooks. I think Brooks gave that one up. I think he knew where the fight was. As it looks like maybe Wallet made a mistake there as we looked at the battle between Brown and Brooks, as Wallet is under immense pressure now from Michael Tognati out of nowhere.
Yeah, we just thought Jordan made another mistake there and got by, but here comes Tognati. He's right on the bumper of Willott into turn down the front straight. Oh, he's going to get to the inside. Will Jason put up a bit more of a fight here than he did with Bonin? Tognati's not quite as far alongside. Jason's going to let him go, it looked like. Will he try and make a crossover and try and get back to him? It's hard to say. We'll see what he does here. He's going to try and take another look to the inside. Will he make a move? Not quite close enough there. Tognati's going to take P2 in this race with only 2 laps to go when they get to the stripe. Should be good to see as, oh wow, Kyle Bonin's already pulled up to almost a 4-second gap as these guys have been fighting. Very good racing here.
Yeah, and I think you can see that Jason Wallet really wants to make that move past Tognati. I think he's going to be picking himself for that mistake because it looked like Wallet was a bit faster. You can see the damage on the, I believe it's the left-hand side there for Tognati after brushing the wall, I believe out of turn 3 or turn 4. So he might have a little bit of straight line speed damage, but we'll see as Jason Wallet chasing through the final corner here onto this front stretch. Only 2 laps to go in this race as Kyle Bonin has extended his lead to 4 seconds now almost. Drexel's Jason Wallet is trying to get that 2nd position back from Tognati. He's lost it twice now in this race.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it's such a short race. You don't expect to see guys having to make these moves and fight these same guys for as long as you'd think, but the whole race these two have been right with each other. It's been really tight racing between the two of them. Could we see another mistake? Oh, he almost went wide again there. Could we see Jason try and get back at him here? Try and take advantage of maybe that little bit of extra straight line speed that he's got over Tognati. Just got to keep it clean as he gets bit by the turtles. Those turtles have been biting guys all night, I tell you.
Yeah, and
It's going to hurt him a little bit here.
Yeah, and one driver who's slowly sneaking in this conversation here. There's only one lap to go here as Kyle Bonnet is about to take the white flag. Like Ian Brown slowly crawling his way up to the podium positions right now as the white flag is out now for Kyle Bonnet. He's got one lap to go here as Barney waves that flag, and so does Jason Wallet. 6/10 behind Michael Tognati right now. Can he make a move into turn one? I think he's too far back. But I think Wallet's been very good in this twisty, this tight middle section here where it's left-right, right, left, right, as Timothy Williams gets past Drew Williams for the 6th position right now. Only 3/10 of a second between Tognati and Wallet.
Absolutely, he's really closed up this time. We'll be able to do anything here. Didn't quite get a good enough run. He's going to have to hope he can pressure Tognati into a mistake here. Tognati goes a little bit defensive into the chicane. Will he make a mistake? Oh, and Jason got the turtles again. Still got a decent run out of the corner. He's not quite close enough to be able to do anything into the second to last corner. I don't think it's going to be close enough to get it done as Michael Bonin is going to come around the final corner and he's going to get the win here.
Yeah,
he's going to sweep.
Bonin of Clemson University wins both races tonight, flashes the headlights as he takes that checkered flag from Barney right now. But look at this, 1, 2, 3 for 2, 3, and 4. Tognati, Wallet, and Brown come across the stripe. Ian Brown really caught up a lot there in that last corner. We'll have to see what happened. I'm a little surprised because the gap was about 1.5 seconds coming out of the chicane, and at the end of the lap, it was only 0.2 of a second. So a great run from Ian Brown, almost getting that last podium spot. Major Monsivas from Texas A&M International comes home in 5th to have a good race, up 7 spots. Great race from him. In 6th, it's Timothy Williams out of Drexel University. In 7th, it's Hunter Hidesti from Clemson, as Timothy Williams looks to the wall here and drives off into the forest, never to be seen again.
Into the shadow realm goes Timothy Williams. That was a very entertaining race today. Wow, lots of beating and bang, as we said, lots of guys putting the bumper to each other. That was a fun race to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that wreck on the first lap, I think we can get a replay here of that first wreck if we can. Really spread out the field a little bit, so the racing wasn't as tight, but it was still just as intense as, I think the wreck obviously spread out a lot of the field here as really far off camera angle. Trying to see what's happening, but I think the driver to watch here on this restart is Jack Ritchie. I think he had a good start. He had a great start actually, moving from, I believe he was in the 4th position. He was up to 3rd by the time they got into turn 1. We'll see if we can get a good look from above, because I think, he just gets onto the inside curb and takes out 2 Clemson University cars, and as well as I believe that's Timothy Wilms, maybe Alexander Diamond. Unfortunate. I think unfortunate for the 2 Clemson cars that got involved because they were both very quick. But
absolutely,
that's racing sometimes, and you can't control everything that happens, but still a great race from a lot of our drivers tonight.
Absolutely, it's always unfortunate to see a wreck like that at the start of the race. It's never what you want. Always hard on these guys when this kind of thing happens, but it was a very entertaining race from everyone. Everyone ran pretty well tonight. Let me take another look at that. Yeah, just unfortunate circumstances there. It looks like he just caught the curb and just lost control. But again, that's one of those racing deals, and it's the way she goes sometimes. Mistakes happen, and that seems to be just an honest mistake on his part.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I think it's time now to talk to some of our drivers tonight who finished in the top 3 positions right now. I think our first in the booth, it's going to be Jason Wallet out of Drexel University. Jason, welcome to the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, Jason, congratulations on the 3rd place finish tonight. You ran a really good race. We saw a lot of action between you and Tognati. Looked pretty clean to us. So, how was your perspective of that fight between you two?
If I was first me trying to catch him for a lot of the late race, I just tried to pass him, but never really had the opportunity to.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good battle to watch once he got in turn 1. Once he made that mistake, I think later in the race that allowed you to get back by. What was your thought there? I guess Bonnet. Sorry. Yeah, what was your thought as Kyle Bonin was starting to approach and to pass you? Were you trying to hold him back a little bit, or were you just trying to let him go and hope that he could maybe slow up Tognati and let you get back by?
Didn't exactly think too much about that. I mean, we're in different classes after all.
Absolutely, that's fair.
Jason, I think you ran a really good race tonight. I think you recovered well from your first race, had a great second race, and I think you stayed clean throughout the whole race, which I think a lot of people couldn't say for the second race tonight. But Jason, before we send you on your way tonight, is there anybody you want to thank or shout out on the broadcast this evening?
Yeah, again, thank you, Reckless, for sponsoring us. Thanks to Tim and Alex for being good teammates. Thanks to everyone who helped me get my sim rig and stuff, especially my mom and dad. And I think that's it.
Well, Jason, congratulations once again. You ran a great race. Well earned third place tonight. Go enjoy it, and we hope to see you up here in the booth sometime soon.
Thanks, you too.
And that was Jason Wallet from Drexel University, our third place finisher in our second race tonight. Zach, I think he probably was hoping for a bit more. I think he maybe thought he had a bit more speed in there, but can't be too too mad with a third place finish.
Absolutely not. He ran a very clean race today. Didn't make a whole lot of mistakes, which is very good to see. Just man, Kyle Bond was just in, as he said. I know he said another class, probably referring to the alumni and student classes. But again, he was just in a class of his own today. He was very quick. It would have been hard to hold him behind for too long before he just found his way through anyway. So yeah, Jason ran a great race tonight. Very well done for him. All right.
Yeah, and I think hopefully we get to hear from all of our podium finishers tonight.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Let's see here. I think we're waiting for our second place finisher, Michael Tognati, to get into the booth or to get into the waiting room. But I think while we wait for Tognati, I think actually, speak of the devil, I think he's just got in there.
There he is.
We should be able to talk to him now. I think joining us in the booth now, it's going to be Michael Tognati, our third place finisher for this evening. Michael, you got a copy?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
Honestly, I did not practice before this race, and I guess it just ended up where I was ahead. I managed to avoid the chaos, and somehow stayed ahead of Lalot. So I think it was a good race. As opposed to a track like Okayama where I practiced a bunch, I only got like 5th or 6th. This was pretty good.
That's all right. You ran a very good race today. I did want to ask you about lap 5. You, I think it's turn 4. It's the right-hander as you come down towards the chicane. You went off at one point. You tagged the wall. I just want to know, how did that affect your car for the rest of the race in terms of handling or straight line speed? What was the kind of effect, or was there any at all?
I didn't notice any major damage. I think it was just a tank slapper. But it was definitely like, please don't hit the wall, please don't hit too hard. But most of the damage I had in the race, I think, was just worn down tires or like flat spotting. So I think if you look from the cockpit, most of my race was like, it wasn't necessarily great pace, but I think everyone fell so far back that I was just trying to, not understeer, plow through turns, and just keep it on track.
Absolutely. That strategy definitely seemed to work out for you as you came home doing nice P2 today. You drove a very clean race today, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, Michael, I was going to ask you about that first race. We saw you start at the back of the pack. As you mentioned, very little practice before this race tonight. That first race, that kind of give you the confidence to go into the second race knowing that, you felt like you weren't going to spin or going to have an incident. I think we saw you had pretty good pace once you got out in clean air in that second race.
Well, asterisk there. I mean, like, I didn't practice like days before. I'd always go on like the 50-minute practice session beforehand. Otherwise, I'd be kind of a nuisance on track. But was it? I practiced and I had to go eat something. So honestly, I just hit ready for race and went to the back. I figured might as well just navigate traffic and then see where I end up. So it definitely helped out a lot. And it was like I was only lapping like I think a minute 0.998, so like just under 101. So when I actually got to the race and I was lapping like a minute 0.4, that definitely gave me some confidence for the second race.
Absolutely. You ran as I said, ran a very clean race. So to come in with not a whole lot of practice, like you said, you only ran the 50 minutes before Heat 1 today. Very impressive drive to be able to have the pace that you did and to be able to be as consistent as you were on that small amount of practice. So very well done today. Congrats on the P2, my man.
Thank you.
Yeah, Michael, congratulations. And obviously, with the CiL special, we have to allow you to thank anyone and everyone you can here on the broadcast before we send you on your way. So, who do you like to give a shout out to tonight for your second place finish?
Honestly, just all the Orange Wheel Racing people. If you remember, I used to go to Clemson. I switched schools, so I'm still in their Discord chat. I always chat with them before and after the race. So those guys are very helpful, and it was cool finishing behind Kyle because he's such a great driver.
Yeah. Michael, once again, thank you for showing up tonight. Great job on your second place finish. We hope to see you again up here in the booth sometime soon, maybe next week, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Awesome, Michael. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That was Michael Tognati out of College of San Mateo. He's our second place finisher for the race tonight. No, he said he didn't do much practice, and in my head, that's just show up, maybe do 10 minutes practice, and then you're on your way to the race. But still, very good effort and showing from Tognati here tonight.
Absolutely. He ran very well, a lot better than I think I would have run had I decided to just run the race as at that last second. But yeah, you ran very well today. Ran a very clean race besides the one mistake. Just to be able to keep your head on straight and recover from that and not make any more mistakes after and make some good passes to get back up to second it's a very good run for Michael. You did very well today.
Yeah, absolutely. But he did mention the one driver who did finish in front of him in the second race tonight, and that was Kyle Bonin. Kyle Bonin joining us in the booth for a second race victory tonight. Kyle, do you got a copy?
I do.
Well, Kyle, congratulations on the sweep tonight. Victories in both races. We saw you starting obviously back in the 10th position in that second race and a bit of chaos in front of you. Were you expecting the chaos, or did you have a plan to manage it?
Having caused chaos in the last race I was in, I was kind of expecting a little bit of chaos. So yeah, I just wanted to take turn one a little cautious and then play it by ear from there.
Absolutely, cautious might have been the best way to go about it with how many cars we saw get knocked out of line there in turn one. I'm watching the replay right now. You were extremely close to being collected there as well as those four cars all came sliding back across the track. After that incident happened, where were you kind of seeing yourself being able to finish? What were your thoughts and your kind of expectations as the race went on after that incident?
I think from there, if I remember correctly, I was in fourth at that point already. Basically, one corner to go from 10th to 4th. So I definitely saw another victory being possible, although I would have to work for it again. Mostly just being behind Ian, who had a bit of a gap on me, and I'd have to work my way up to him. I know he was quick all night. And I think I had a slip up going towards the back straight, going right, like the right-hand turn, and I don't remember who it was. Somebody got a run on me. And then, unfortunately, I think they missed their braking point and took Ian out. And then from there, I think I just had two cars in front of me that I just had to track down. So yeah, from the start, I think I was feeling pretty confident after surviving turn one.
Absolutely. It was a chaotic first lap and definitely made the most of it, keeping that car in one piece and being able to make those moves to get back up top. So very nicely done today. Yeah, well done.
Thank you.
Well, Kyle, obviously we let you go in that first race, but we had to bring you back for the second. So obviously you have to take the opportunity now to, if you have anybody you'd like to thank or shout out on the broadcast this evening, now's your chance. So let the world know who makes this possible for you.
I guess I'd like to thank everybody that's in OWR for being major contributors to this and keeping this going. And then also to you guys for keeping this going, kind of keeping a nice league for us all to run here.
Absolutely. It's a good show these guys put on here today. So thank you for giving us a nice some nice overtakes to look at and talk about and put on a good show for us today and for the folks at home. Yeah, congrats on the sweep. It was a good race to watch, and yeah.
Yeah, thank you. It was great doing it too.
Kyle, we hope to see you
I'm
up
sure.
here in the booth again sometime soon, Kyle. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that was our race 1 and 2 winner for the evening, Kyle Bonin. He put on a great show. Really, I don't want to say waxed the field because it wasn't easy for him, but at points he did make it look easy, as I think he really understands this car and this track is just a good fit for him.
Absolutely, he showed a lot of pace really all night. So if I think if he hadn't lost the lead in race 1, it would have been a lot more of a beating put on the other drivers. But he drove very smart races in both races today. Kept his car clean, and he just made some smart moves all night. He wasn't overly aggressive. He made moves that he knew he could stick and not compromise his race or compromise the race of others. So he did a very good job of just having a clean and safe race tonight.
For sure, Zach. And I think that was the case with most drivers, especially in that first race. I think they kept it very clean, and I think a lot of respect shown between these drivers, and maybe not as much elbows out argy-bargy than I was expecting. Maybe just given how the track is with drafting, you don't really have to force yourself around to make an overtake. But I think a lot of respect shown throughout the field tonight, and a lot of really good racing in race 1 and in race 2.
Absolutely, I think having more fast corners sort of lessened the amount of argy-bargy, as you said, and beating and banging. But we still, of course, we saw a bit of it in the chicane, especially in race 2 there. I think it was Ian Brown, and I'm not sure who the other driver was, but they got together and they both spun off in that chicane right in front of Kyle Bonin, who went on to win the race. So it's absolutely, the guys ran a very clean race 1 overall, but race 2 seemed to get a little bit more rowdy. I gotta say, it seems to usually be the case. If there's 2 races at an event, there's always one. Guys are a little more easy, taking it easy, and then it all goes nuts for the next one, or the other way around, of course. It's just...
Yeah, for sure, Zach. And I think, speaking of kind of insanity and argy-bargy, I think now is the perfect time to remind everybody watching that if you're looking for some more argy-bargy elbows out, rubbin is race in action. Be sure to tune in next Monday night. I believe that's June 26th for the CiL Gen 4 series. We're heading to Martinsville. We're heading to the Paperclip. We're taking the 750 or however many horsepower in those big, powerful.
We'll call it 1,000. We'll just say 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 sounds nice. It's a big
Might as
bold
well.
number.
Nice round number.
Taking the beasts of the Gen 4 Cup cars to the Paperclip around Martinsville. That's going to be one where tempers will flare, and you're going to hear some not so kind exchanges between our drivers. But tune in Monday night, 9 p.m. to see more of CiL Cup action. But if you're looking for some CiL GR86 action, be sure to tune in 1 week's time as our drivers head across the Atlantic Ocean to a track not traversed that often in Zolder. Zolder is a very unique track. Obviously, used to host the Belgian Grand Prix. Now it's going to host the CiL GR86 Cup. So be sure to tune in next Wednesday, same time, same place. My name is Matthew Nordberg. On behalf of Zachary DeWale, everybody here at the CiL, Nick Stockner, our steward, we want to thank you for tuning in tonight and watching this production. We hope to see you again soon, and as always, stay fast.
Cool. Man, interviews are stressful. Yeah. Oh my god. I think it could have been. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's a lot easier being on the other end of the mic.
Yo, Nordberg, I can still hear Zach on the stream, by the way.